but I had another intuitive dream. To clarify, I was in that space, like right between sleeping and awake. So it's like when your spirit actually speaks clearer than your thoughts, right? And so I heard a lyric to that song that has been stuck in my head on replay. We're living in a hostile government takeover. Sorry for the bleeding for your ears. It's such a bop until you remember what you're singing. And listen, it's not a metaphor. It's not a theory. It's like actually the diagnosis. Because here's what actually happened, right? So in this dream, as soon as I had the song, I then saw 2 tarot cards. The first one was the 4 of Cups, and I heard challenged by the Ace of Pentacles. Now, if you don't read cards, let me tell you, this is spiritual shorthand for what's actually happening in America. I'm new to this, right? But anyway, the 4 of Cups is the energy of like withdrawal, numbness, and emotional burnout. And this card shows that someone refusing the next offer, but every cup before them has disappointed them. And that's like where we are, like emotionally shut down, overstimulated, and disengaged. And that apathy, that's strategy, that's design, that's flooding of the zone. Because the Ace of Pentacles is the false gift, the promise of something better, prosperity, security, a return to greatness. It's the economy, stupid. And that is what the challenge is. The gift comes with conditions, with hooks, with long-term costs you don't see until it's too late. Thanks, MAGA. So they offered economic relief, but then gave us inflation, chaos, and so much loss, including 192 trade wars. So let's not pretend that this is actually theoretical. This is y'all president, Trump, and his network of puppet masters and oligarchs that are not fixing the country. They're deliberately breaking it, systematically breaking it. And they've alienated us from our allies while cozying up to dictators and enemies. They've dragged us again into these 192 trade wars, wrecking our global reputation and strangling our economy. They've gutted the very programs that actually keep people alive. And that is going to be Medicaid, or at least they're trying to really hard. And that's Medicaid, SNAP, which is food stamps, social services, veteran programs. We're getting rid of, oh my God, there's just so much. I don't even want to go over it all because the point of this video is not to bring you down. It's to wake up the rest of you who are still sleeping. Because his latest budget is just more cuts. Everything from people, everything for billionaires. Not proposals, not results, but these are direct action, right? No requests. He's not even asking Congress to step in line. And since this is his Senate, though, is like showing these signs of breaking from the one band, one sound Republican cult, right? So he's no longer asking for cooperation. He wants obedience. And y'all, the way that they have told us for years that China is the enemy when the call was coming from the house, like they fed this narrative with fear and xenophobia until it became gospel. Some of y'all was getting off of TikTok or afraid to get in TikTok because of this fear, and they weaponized that fear. And so the tariffs they've imposed have made it like nearly impossible, though, y'all, for small businesses to survive. Prices shot up, supply chains have fractured, and now the very people who voted for America First were paying $30 for eggs. They're down a little bit, but yo, even though they drifted to $19, it's still obscene. Like gas is even above $3 in places, but he talking about it's $1.78. Russian barrels are like $60. So why are we still up there? And the so-called gift he offered, y'all, it has become our curse. Because that's what racism actually is. That's what sexism actually is. And so, y'all, this isn't about mismanagement. We need to stop saying they're being stupid, because this is the deliberate dismantling of the American government from inside the house. Y'all heard of Project 2025, right? And still voted for the shit. Or y'all heard of the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, because like what? Like there's nothing efficient about it. And both of those things expire on July 4th, 2026. So ask yourself, why is a government project expected to expire on the same day of the Day of Independence? That's because they are planning to kill the original Constitution and replace it. Replace the laws, replace the protections, replace we the people with we the obedient. And this isn't hyperbolic. This is a cold civil war. One that like the average citizen doesn't even know they're in. Now listen, when I consulted ChatGPT about this dream to help me break it down, I saw something like intuitively in my mind's eye. It was a flash from a movie, Marvel fans, y'all know, the Iron Man 3. And this is the moment that the villain, the one that like terrified the whole world, was finally exposed. And it turned out he was just an actor, a face, a puppet on the golden stage. And that's what came to me, y'all. Like I said, puppet on the stage. Because I saw the guy, and then all of a sudden I saw the guy covered in gold. Because the scene shifted, and all I knew was, that's Trump. It was tacky, it was overdone, it was fake, and I knew it was Trump. Have y'all seen what he did to the Oval Office? So this dream, this message, it wasn't about fiction. It was about Trump. Yes, I'm saying his name. And that vision was saying that Trump isn't the mastermind. He is the actor. The strings are being pulled by something deeper, more nefarious, and the real architects of this coup are hiding behind wealth, power, and technology. And they're using him as a distraction, a very, very disgusting distraction. And while we stare at the puppeteers are dismantling the system. So this scene, this thing that flashed into my head, was just spiritual confirmation of what I've already suspected. Because I've done the history, I've read the history, and I have second sight. And so what I saw is very, very clear. This isn't political warfare. This is psychological warfare. This is spiritual warfare. And it's being staged with a Hollywood-grade illusion, tech-fueled suppression, and gold-plated props, y'all. Because the fact is, the war is here, and it's on us. We're not at war with China, or with Russia, or with Iran. We're at war with our own government, hijacked by billionaires and technocrats who want to turn America into a technocracy. This isn't conjecture. This is pretty much fact. Because Elon Musk's grandfather tried to build one in Canada, and he was run out. Now, they've circled back with algorithms, surveillance, privatization, and brute force, and billions of dollars. They're breaking the courts with an avalanche of fascist cases. And they're grinding down activists and advocates with endless legal battles. They're waiting us out. They're sieging on us, right? And they're betting on our fatigue. And I'm going to tell y'all, I am tired. But I'm not asleep. And I hope you aren't either. Because some of us read history books. Some of us know what happens when you cower in fear. Y'all have trained us of how to deal with bullies. When you do cower, you make yourself easy to control, and then you have no other choice, and then you're backed into a corner. But when that happens, y'all, history tells us the people will rise. And sometimes they bring cutting knives. So Spirit didn't tell me the next card, right? Because I don't think we're there. We're still in this holding pattern. We're still in this tipping point. We're still waiting on some more people to wake up. But the danger of this is, y'all, that the longer we wait, the deeper the roots of fascism grow. And there's a very plain and simple truth. When you feel the fear, your job is not to freeze, it's to fight. Not with violence, but with clarity, with language, with memory, with organization, with courage, with community. You're not crazy. You're not paranoid. You're not alone. You're awake. And your voice really, really matters. And y'all, I know that it has been some high tension. Anxiety might be up. You might be feeling unease in your gut. You might be feeling heaviness on your spirit. You might be feeling zapped of energy. You might be feeling the need to just sleep this away. And you're right to feel it, because the false gift is on the table. The mask has slipped. For some of us, it was never in place. And the people behind the curtain, they're counting on your silence. So speak, act, resist. Because the Constitution may not even protect us much longer, y'all. But listen, we can still protect each other.